Hello world, PDR coming at you here. And today we've got a 2018 BMW 540 X-Drive, super nice car for a super nice guy. And I think he said that somebody's elbow hit it. If we look at this dent, it's about 5 inches, maybe 5 and 6 inches across at an angle. And it's a shallow, I wouldn't say so shallow, but it's definitely not sharp. So we're gonna go for the glue pulling because of this actual location of this dent. Anytime you're talking about a rear quarter right above the wheel well, it's always gonna be difficult to access. There's a few different ways. Obviously taking apart the back seat, all the plastic, everything to try to gain some kind of little hole in the rear wall to access it, to push from behind. The worst way would be to drill a hole in this jam. We don't do that. Another kind of difficult way would be opening up the trunk, taking all that plastic stuff and getting in here with a long tool like Bertha or Grandpa all the way into this area. Another way would be jacking up the car, taking off this plastic piece right here, which is a carpeted covered plastic, and then which is a pain in the butt to take off. And then you've got a wall that might have some holes in it, might not. You put a hole in it, drill a hole in there, reach up in there with a tool, and you're 6 to 8 inches away from the dent. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna use the glue pulling system for the entire dent. And honestly, guys, it's nice and warm out today. It's about 70 degrees out right now. I'm gonna, oh, let me turn my hat around so that you guys can see what we're working on. And I'm gonna just take the wood strip from my light board here and look right where I want to put it. I want to put it right in the center, not in the center of the dent. I want to put it down low on the bottom side, right by the body line, and just line it up and literally just see if I can make it adhere with this. Okay, so it's sticking. Now I'm going to literally just give it a nice pull. Let's see if I can do that. Straight out. And these wood grips are nice, but they're not made for this. They're not made to pull stuff off. They're literally just made to hold, I say literally way too many times in this video, to hold the board up. So let's see if we moved it at all. Oh gosh, looks like we did move it a little bit. Now I'm gonna grab some glue pulling, and what I'll do for this one is I'm gonna put a nice big tab all the way through the middle of it. I should have been a little more prepared. Isopropyl alcohol, 99.9%. We'll give it a little rub. And then I'm gonna take this big tab and only put a little bit of glue on it. I know I already have some glue on it. See how I only put just a little bit of glue on it, about the size of the dent? And I'm gonna just really lightly, I'm gonna let it dry a lot too before I put it on. I'm gonna really lightly, see how it's kind of giving it that, really lightly do that, and then just pull it with this little puller, which is my hand, obviously, you know, just a little T hand bar. And then as it starts to set, give it enough pull that I'm almost feeling like the same way that an elbow would have gone into it if they didn't want to dent it, like they were just falling and trying to not hit it. Yeah, so now when we're getting some more out of it, we move the board, try to get more of an angle, and it looks messy because of the stuff. Once I'm back, it was only a second, and now we'll clean that off, and I'm gonna actually get set up with a couple of different tabs and a couple of different tools here and my hammers, and we will come back to you in a bit. But before that, I will say thank you guys for clicking on this video. I really do appreciate it. Okay guys, so here's what I did. I just threw out a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna need, basically a couple of handfuls of tools. What we're talking about is, if I'm gonna be tapping, using the Shane Jack's hammer to take out some of the brows, obviously there's gonna be a brow on top, and if you don't notice, you won't be able to notice, but there's gonna be a brow underneath that we won't be able to see until you really look for it. It'll be right there. The brow on top crests around this side, It comes up here, and let's see if I can do anything to it before I make this pull, which is right there, the top of that brow. I really just want to see where it kind of pinches right there. I just want to give that a little bit of resonance, a little bit of love. And we don't have the microphone on, so I'm kind of turning away from you, so it's probably going to be hard for you guys to hear me when I'm talking. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just get that little crest, the top of that little edge, to flatten out a little bit. So when those lines pinch, they don't pinch as much. And this is just a straight titanium head. You wouldn't want to use metal to paint on most occasions, unless you know you have a polished, real good polished tip. Like the old tip that I have here, I probably wouldn't even be doing, because it's probably got a little bit of marring. If I sanded it down with the 2000 grit again, I would. But what we're gonna do is grab a nice little tab. Looks like a Atlas tab that I've got in my hand. It's a little too small, but could I do two of them? Could I grab a Keiko Clear and just go right through the middle? Okay guys, I already made one pull. I did it by hand and I had a call, so I was didn't get to film it. But we made one pull, moved a lot of metal, got a high tug right through the back here. And I'm just gonna, as this glue sets, I'm just gonna grab it and give it a nice tug. As you see those lines kind of straighten up. Now, here's a little trick about every dent in the game, normal paintless dent repair. You want to pull the dent up, but you also want to get that brow down. Well, the best way to do that is both at the same time, which is kind of tough to do. It means you have to have tension on the dent and tapping on the brow at the same time. So there is a tool that has an arm that holds the tab up, but I'm just kind of doing it manually. And now I'm going to give it a nice yank. I'm going to stand up here and give it a nice yank, just a little bit, and then hit it with the isopropyl. And since it has the alcohol on it, it should just pop right off. Let's see. If not, we go with this. And the tool, ouch! I put my knee right on a tab, and that was pretty sharp. Normally this will just give it time and it'll pop right off. You know, you take the time. This is the tool that I hardly ever use, to go underneath a tab and twist or to pull, because it will actually make more dents. So I don't ever use that plastic tool unless I absolutely have to. Now I've lifted up the center. I've got this low area down here, it's a smiley face, and a high crested brow through the top. So I think what I'm gonna just common sense it. Let me spin my hat around and let me common sense the bottom of this. See how I kind of made a smiley face? And then I'm just gonna put it down like that. And I'm gonna even look around, grab just a tab, already has some glue on it. I'm gonna look around for a low area. And then there's only a tiny little slim low area left, right up about here. So let's grab this tiny little crease tab. And guys, the thing about this dent is I'm doing it all really manually. Like you noticed, I haven't brought out the robo lifter and given it the full-on press. I'm doing it all really lightly, just kind of like this. Give it some tugs. I don't want to overstretch it. I don't want to over pull it. It's on the top of a big round. And then this one, nice little tug. There we go. That tug pulled it off. And then this one, a good snap. There we go. Now let's just see what we ended up with. A couple of light hand pulls right there. So you don't always need that full-on tool's worth of pulling. And grab it again. Give it a little sharp tug, because this is down by a body line. I can pull on this one a lot harder. I might even see what it's going to look like if I give it a little pull with the lifter. Obviously, you see I'm tightening it up now. So come across the top. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like the pushing down on the top of that with the top of the lifter. So let's just do it all manually. Oh, okay, so now we're starting to get this shape that we want. A little bit of glue right there. Comes right off. And so here's what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna tap some of these brows, maybe do a couple more little pulls, and we'll come back and show you the end result in just a bit. Here's what we ended up with. I don't know if we did a super speedy with the pulls and taps, but ended up looking pretty good. Maybe a tiny little wave where it was most severe, and other than that, it came out super nice. Just lots of glue pulls. I would probably have to say we made about 100 to 150